The world's smartest Zionist. This guy says, you couldn't care less about actual history. Yes, what you're saying is, we couldn't care less about your version of history, because we all know your version of history. Israel's version of history is actual history. Israel's version of history is the only version of history. Israelis love to go back to 3000 BC, but it's does not compute for them to go back to 1947. You really are that clueless. See, fan of Israel, this is your smartest point. This is why I always say, world's smartest Zionists try not to go into their feelings and take the conversation personal while not making a point whatsoever. Challenge impossible. Because this is all what you do. You say you claim this is my version of history. If you disagree, you're stupid, you're clueless, you don't know what you're talking about. But again, the historical record is not on your side. That's precisely the point. No country can say, well, 3,000 years ago, this is my version of history, and that's why I can ethnically cleanse these people from their land. Jordan did not control East Jerusalem from 1948 to 1967. Again, you're being a revisionist. Any more than, Egypt controlled the Gaza Strip from 1948 to 1967. Yes, they had administrative duties in these territories, much like, it's like saying the PLO controls the West Bank, or Hamas controls the Gaza Strip. You don't understand that Israel is the occupying force of all of these territories. And your own precious United Nations, which formalized your state of Israel, even the United Nations condemns you. That's recorded history. I love what you want to bring up recorded history. Let's go. Let's talk about recorded history. Let's talk about it. My goodness, you're such liars. Cope harder, nerd. That's all you have. Is you can't refute international law. You can't refute the UN resolutions. You can't refute the settler colonial project as it was acknowledged by the Zionist leaders themselves and the organizations which pulled it off, what they called the Jewish colonization of Palestine. So those are all war crimes. You can Google it. You can Google UNSC 242 and read it and weep. Everyone has agreed since 1967 and onward, formally, that Israel is the occupying force of the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights, and must vacate those territories, of which it still is in violation of international law. So you can cope and seethe. Okay? No, you are sad. You are projecting. Again, you are very much projecting, because this is what I tell you about every fan of Israel, right? They go into their feelings, they make it personal, and it's all about me. It's all about what I'm saying. And this is why I always remind the entire chat, okay? I am simply repeating the historical record and the international laws and standards that all countries have signed on for, including Israel, okay? I'm literally citing the Geneva Conventions of 1949, the international humanitarian law administered by the International Committee for the Red Cross. I'm quoting the UN Charter. I'm quoting the ICC rulings, the ICJ rulings, the United Nations Security Council resolutions, the hundreds of human rights reports which have been written about Israel's illegal occupation and subsequent war crimes and illegal settlements. I mean, it's just a plethora, a mountain of evidence. And we have no-name fan of Israel chuds coming into somebody's live stream, clutching their pearls. It's absolutely ludicrous, okay? But go ahead, go into your feelings. Tell us all how I'm a loser, and I'm sad, and I'm ugly, and I don't know my history, and I'm stupid, and I'm clueless. Yeah, you're doing the literal not-on defense. Like, this is the world's smartest Zionists. Every single one is turned to dust. Their whole argument is turned to dust when examined upon scrutiny, okay? Yeah, Rathbone, you are owned. I'm not owned, you are owned. Yeah, okay, very good. Tell me to Google what? Yeah, you're... So scared. Oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah, I'm real scared. You're scared of international law, apparently. You're scared of Googling UN resolutions, okay? Again, with the name calling now comes the babifying of the whole conversation, right? Yes, we're all scared of Google. Cool story, bro. He's literally sauntering away. He's literally turning into a corn cob right now. He's like, I'm not owned, as I turn into a corn cob. Mr. Big fan of Yisrael Chode. Can you do anything except name call? I just asked you, Google what? What you don't even you just say Google. Google, Google, Google. Cool story. You're literally getting lit up. You're fighting for your life in the comments right now. It's hilarious. Like, I didn't realize that your mom let you log on the internet this late. On her computer? Where's your mama? Somebody call this man's mom. He's probably in his 30s and he's never talked to a girl. I already told you, yes. Jordan and also Egypt administered the West Bank and the Gaza Strip respectively. That doesn't mean that they controlled it any more than it means the PA controls the West Bank, okay? Israel is still the occupying force. This is also another way for Israeli chodes to deflect from their own war crimes, okay? By placing the blame on Egypt or placing it on Jordan. Here's the thing, is that there's only one country that the international community has resoundingly condemned, and it's not Jordan, it's not Syria, it's not Egypt, it's not Lebanon, it's not Iran, it's Israel. Israel is the country that is being condemned by the international community for controlling and occupying and instituting apartheid policies in the occupied territories, including the West Bank, the Golan Heights, and East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip. So there's only one country in violation of occupied territories right here, okay, in the Middle East, and that would be Israel. Not before 1967! I didn't say before 1967. I just told you, UNSC 242, 1967. So your own argument does not stand up to scrutiny. The United Nations, which formalized the state of Israel, which I'm repeating to you now because you need to be repeated to. Again, apparently you didn't hear the first time. The United Nations, which formalized the state of Israel in 1948, even the United Nations condemns Israel since 1967. That is way longer than you have ever been alive. At least I hope so, because you talk like you're a 15-year-old. Yes, the 6-Day War, which was a preemptive war of aggression, which Israel is condemned for. Another crime, another war crime of aggression, because Israel bombed Egyptian airfields in 1967, launching a preemptive strike, and is internationally recognized as a war crime and condemned as such by the international community. Formalized in UNSC 242 and subsequently called out in other resolutions since. So I'm sorry, you're toast. You have no argument. The entire world is against Israel in its war crimes and its campaign of ethnic cleansing and genocide against the Gazan people and the state of Palestine. Okay? So you're toast, bud. Okay? You're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. See? That's it. Nonsense. You can't fight the historical record, so what can you do? All you can do is you can say nonsense. I love this argument. Look at this. A fan of Israel. Yes, they did. Egypt was massed on Israel's borders. Yes, that's not a crime of aggression, you fuckstick. Egypt is well within its rights and put defensive troops along its borders. That's not an act of aggression. That's not an act of war. And that's why nobody in the international community, no formal relevant institution, i.e. the UN, the ICJ, or any other institution, condemns Egypt for doing that, okay? Everyone condemns the unlawful acquisition of territory and the preemptive war of aggression instituted by Israel when, yes, it bombed Egypt in the Sinai. And let's not forget why they did defensive measure along their borders, which is not a war crime. Egypt did that because Israel had already started to threaten to attack Syria. Yes, Egypt was on Egypt's borders. Oh my God, that's a war crime. No, you dumbass, that's not a war crime. And once again, you can go into your feelings and you can say that I'm a sad person and I'm ugly and I'm idiot and blah, blah, blah. You can take that up to the UN. Take that argument that's so fucking ironclad, rock solid, right? Take that argument of, it's nonsense. Go to the UN and talk to them about that, because I'm literally just repeating what the UN has decided and concluded decades before I was even born, okay? So you can go fuck yourself in the ass. Israel has the right to fuck itself in the ass. Yeah, he's toast. Look, he's literally no comment. Yeah, your favorite little apartheid ethno-state is circling the drain right now. Must be tough for you. I get it. You're coping, you're pearl clutching, you're seething, you're raging, you're mad, you're malding, in fact, because your favorite little apartheid ethno-state is not doing so well. Not doing so well. All you're reduced to is making one-word comments. You have no argument. You literally have no argument. That's hilarious. My guys are winning. Your guys lose. Yeah, okay. Cool story, bro. Cool story. That's big if true. I think we've sufficiently understood that you have no frontal lobe. You have yet to acquire a cerebral cortex by which to do some critical thinking. You are slavishly just a pawn of the Israeli Hasbara program. You were dyed in the wool. We get it, okay? It's hard to see sometimes when you have your head up your own ass. I get that, okay? Keep cooking and keep brooding. Or not, I don't give a fuck. But you're a loser.
Nixon ordered Cambodian genocide. Sent cruise missiles to Sudan, people died. Gave the orders to do drone strikes.